This video is brought to you by my awesome Patreon supporters. To help support my work, keep my videos ad-free, and get rewards, follow the link in the description below. You can then select a tier depending on your budget, and every little bit helps. Thank you. So I love playing new players because I like seeing what their style is all about. And you, sir, are like the little Mac. You're like the little Mac of Go. Like, you just fighting. Like, there's an area that I'm developing that like there's no reasonable person would jump in, and you just like jump in and like try to freaking uppercut my face off. So that was awesome. All right, so what do we want to do here? I don't actually have a Switch. I just play with my friends. So I was telling the people here, like, this is a low Chinese. Usually white plays here. Black can either back off high because you kind of want to synergize kind of with your high-low stones a little bit. But that's fine. No worries. You backed off low. Totally fine. I backed off here because I was threatening a move over in this area to try to develop this off this stone. This is OGS. Great for beginner players. I don't actually play on here very much, hence my rank, which is 5K. I haven't played a game on here in at least a year. But, yeah. So I'm threatening to move over here. Approaching, that's fine. So Moyo v Moyo. Game on. Okay, so admittedly, I'm not the best at like Moyo v Moyo games. Only because so you have a few options. Let's just like try to go over your options. One option for black is to enclose the corner, make your shapes kind of solid, and then look to try to poke at invasion points later. That's a strategy. I think you could still do this because black has the first move, so black is one step ahead in building the Moyo. If white does something here, like you have invasion points here, you can play here. You can even like build aggressively, like up this way. Like, it's fine. Bye, Canuck. See ya. But I think this is fine for what it is. I decided to play super passively and back off.
You have been
my corner
invited.
Very safe. And now what I was telling chat was, I feel like a lot of people would do this, right? But here's the thing. Let's say black shoulder hits and gets some sort of like center shape thing going, right? And let's say black gets Sente again. This doesn't actually fix the problem of this invasion.
You have been invited.
Right? Like, white, like, you can do this. That's go to like. So this 2 space is very much open for an invasion, and this doesn't necessarily fix anything for me. And when I'm looking to try to attack you, when I'm looking to try to attack this stone, I'm like, okay, how do I want to attack this thing? I knew that attacking this way isn't fixing this problem of having the corner be invaded. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I fix this problem? I decided to play super passively and do this. But the basic gist of it is like force black to go in the direction that you want to strengthen. So, which is exactly what happened. Black felt forced to play over in this direction because this is super strong. It's closed off. He's not going to really be able to get a good base over in this direction. Now I did this. And now you can't invade here anymore. Now you can't. I fixed it by letting black fix it for me. All the while keeping my eye on the real prize of this extension, which is this area. This is what this extension wants. This extension wants this area. So this is the target of this extension, not this. If white gets both, that's great. But the fact that it's high, especially with this stone, shows that like you want this. So I wasn't super worried about getting the corner taken away, but if black is able to fix it for me, then that's awesome. Okay, how do I get, gonna erase all these. Okay. Whoa, oh God. Shit. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so we went through that. So what can Reckless do to make this feel a little better for him, right? Like that's really the goal. One option that you can do is to jump in the corner right now. Black can make some cool exchanges. Oh, white needs to defend here, right? Black can take the corner. And white does need... Now, black can pull this stone out later. But the problem is, like, white is getting a lot of thickness here. So you might not want to do this right away. Black could hit on this stone for some strength. As I showed, that when you hit on a stone, not only are you trying to get the stone's number, but you're making shape for your group. So you can double Hane, basically sacrificing the stone to make a Panuki. Right? And then you can extend this way, and then like black shape looks fine. If white really wants to go all in on this, black has an escape route up here, it can leave, like it's fine. So you can attach for strength, but remember what you're giving up. And that's the issue. Like if you attach here, you got to understand that this white's going to get a Panuki and be very strong in this area. So like that's what you're giving up. So all things to think about. Black can just like jump up and like not commit to anything until later. That's fine too. But this was my strategy with this move, was to get black to fix myself, which I did. And from here, it's just surround and make thickness. It's the name of the game. And now here. Oh, God. So this was bold. This was bold, good sir. Goddamn, I had to work really freaking hard to get this thing to live. I had to work really, really hard to get this thing to live. It should not have lived. If you want to invade, here's a great invasion point for you. Because it's studied, it's got the well-known things that go on. You can do this, and now like you've hurt the white stone, you've expanded your corner. And also don't forget, like you have territory too, right? I let it live to prove a point. I wanted just to show you that that even by letting that live, I could still be way ahead in terms of points. My goal for that was to show you that like, you know, you don't need to kill everything to still be ahead. Sup, Salus, how you doing? But remember, black, you have points too. You have potential too. So it's definitely conceivable, even from something as far back as here, right? To maybe build on your own. You can take your corner enclosure here into here. Now you're building kind of crushing white from being built. Now I have to worry about your territory. Also, this is a good move as well. Because if white wants the corner, then you get, you get like a nice little, comfortable little, it's a little tight, but it's workable. 2 space for living. Nice and simple. Yeah, so much profit. And I'm showing you surrounding for profit. So, step 1. So now here's what I'm thinking about, like when I'm surrounding for profit. I'm like, okay, like where are my weak points? Can I use this attack to fix my weak points and to make profit, really? And so I knew that here, this, for example, A is an invasion point. I knew that. So I was like, is there a way that I can fix this in a way that also takes away the invasion point? So in my head, I'm like, okay, here, here, here completely fixes the invasion point and expands my potential at the same time. So I was like, oh, great. That's the continuation I want. And you still need to figure out how to live with this thing. It's not like you can play away from this. Like, you need to do something here. And while you're taking all of these moves to try to figure that out, all these moves try to figure that out, I can just make you end in Gote and then, like, play a big move here. I can invade now. It's just all these options. And now I get the Sente to do what you did to me, except I'll have better groups because you don't have as much thickness. So here I'm just, again, just surround. I'm not doing anything other than keeping my group strong and connected. Now we did do that. And since this is fine, now I executed my plan. So now we've got, yeah. It's kind of a lose-lose when you make this kind of group here. So now we've made a ton of points. Black's making none. And we've got nice, strong, settled groups. And so now we don't have to worry about our groups, and we can go on the offensive against black later. And that's exactly what I'm going to show. So because we fixed all of our groups, and all of our groups are strong, we don't have to give a shit about them. And we can just like invade and reduce. And now we only have one thing to worry about, which is the stone. Black wants to prioritize this corner. Can do that in this way. Now white kind of makes the beginnings of a table shape here. If black wants to try to keep white out, like that's fine. Again, but black can make white pretty sad. So you don't want to try to be too heavy with this group. Probably push one more time here and leave. And now black or white's pretty easily out. The shape is good. It's light. It's reduced black. And it'll probably start connecting back up to its brothers and sisters at some point. What was your plan for black? F16. Could do a few things. Again, this attachment makes really good shape really quickly. And again, this is black's area. I'm not expecting to freaking own the board here. We're trying to reduce, right? We're not an invade and like make good sabaki shape. So we're not incredibly concerned with having an amazingly beautiful group, because this is black's area. Like, we're not going to get that. But by making a few little forcing moves and sacrifices, we can get pretty decent group here that, for all intents and purposes, lives. So whichever direction black goes, white can attach to either this place or this place and make some good sabaki shape, which is the idea. All right, what are we doing? And so he played this one, which has some weaknesses all up in here, which I exploited. So this threatens to poke through, right? Yeah, unfortunately the ladder does not work for you, which I saw. So black needs to extend another time. And now it's not alive yet.
You have been
so
invited.
White needs to white can't really live locally here. So white's gonna probably like need to try to leave.
You have been invited.
But it's gonna be difficult to get white to not to keep white from making shape here. Because again, like this is already almost a table. But this is probably black's best chance to make something happen against white's group, is to try to extend one more time. If we're being totally honest with how I would have played otherwise,
You have been invited.
it's the best way to play otherwise.
You have been invited.
Just connecting is probably good. I think. So black plays here. Then white can do something a little bit sneaky. Threaten to leave. Black continues to try to surround. Black has this move. Black needs to defend this double Atari.
You
and
have
now
been
white
invited.
can ladder this. So the connection's actually pretty good because it does threaten those two things. Anywho, I just decided to just like make a group, see what you would do, and unfortunately the ladder misread the ladder, and we got yeah. I want to see what you would do. So here's the thing about this group. Like, so many moves kill this thing. So black needs the sign Gote. This actually kills it, because if black tries this, white has the throw in, and then squeezes out, and then black still has only one eye. So, I mean, that's the way it is. But I just like worked really hard to like make that not happen. But just letting you know that's real. I love this. I love the attempt. I think that was awesome. And I love how you found that like you could like squeeze to get an eye in Sente, which was sweet. Yeah, there's a bit of a weakness here. I loved this squeeze though. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, so now that I was out, I'm just like, whatever. Let's kind of make my points. This one's a little bit better. I'd have to do this. Yeah, it's still kind of gote for you, though. It's actually not even really gote. You could let this go and then play somewhere else. Or like from here, here's a great invasion point. Like there's really no way I can disconnect you. I mean, well, actually there is the double Hane. So we saw that later. So that it was like this. This would be an awesome invasion point because there's really not much I can do about this at all. Then going this way. Yeah, you do a lot of things. What are we doing? Yeah, Hane at the head and 2 and 3 stones. If you can take one thing away from this game and remember this continuation, that would be amazing because this comes up so often. And if you notice in high-level Dawn games, no one ever captures the stones like what happened here. But what happens when you get a Hane at the end of 2 and 3 stones and you can double like this, is it crunches black over to the side. So I'm gonna give like a super brief example. Actually, let's have one line lower. Okay. And let's say white plays somewhere else, right? Again, the double Hane is amazing because we play here. If white tries to Atari, we get the double Atari and wreck the shape apart, right? So what has to happen is white has to play this one and black gets to do it again because if white tries to Hane here, black cuts. And now ta-da! Ta-da! All gone. Still a shortage of liberties. Black has to extend again. And again. And so now you've gotten what could have been a big white wall of influence thing, and it's crunched in on itself, like facing the side of the board. And that's usually what ends up happening. Compare if white was able to get 4 stones up in here, and then play away. Well, now it's not a big deal. Because this doesn't really work. Well, don't do that. It works if you do that. But the majority of... Okay, maybe this was a bad example because there's a problem here. So, let's do that. There's still so many shape issues. Okay, now it's fine. Because, like, it doesn't... Okay, now it's not. Okay, you know what? Maybe the problem... I'm so sorry. There's just a lot of abuse. You can just abuse so many things. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say here? That's a good move, but then black does that. Okay, here's the basic debate. Moral of the story? You can die at any time and always be afraid. I guess that's the moral of my story. But it's way easier to die when you have a Hane at the head of 2 and 3 stones. So, yeah. I guess that's the... Oh, that's what you do. That's what you do. Okay, I figured it out. Figured it out. If black doubles, then you can Atari here black protects, Atari again, black goes here, and then you can like defend everything. The clamp still exists, but whatever. So, yeah, moral of the story is fear everything. So where was I? Here we go. Okay, so this one. I appreciate the effort, but there's literally no way like this stone can live. So my goal in responding to this was to try to show you that by being as passive and not giving a shit about attacking that stone as possible, it still can't live. So all I was doing was like protecting my cut points and like making shape and connecting everything. Like that was just staying connected. And then surrounding and like, yeah, there's like nothing you can do. So, yeah. Oh, I want to show you something cool. So this is super cool. Squeeze is a great Tsuji to learn. So if I played here, that's an Atari. You take, that's an Atari on these 3 stones. Ta-da! La-da-da. And they disappeared like magic. And that's just because there was a squeeze. So you would need to let them go. Yeah. What are we doing? That was good. I was looking at this move because if you try to do something, then this is a double Atari. And if by some chance you see that and you protect, then I play here. Then I do that. It would have been hilarious, but I didn't do it because that would be sad. So I was like 30 points ahead. Despite not even trying to kill this thing. Which goes to show, and you got a good amount of points here. Like this was a lot of points. This was a great corner. This was a great corner. The problems really came from like this whole swath of stuff. So a lot of times a reduction is worth just as much as an invasion, and it makes your stones a lot safer. So if you can try to plan your strategy to like reduce instead of just jumping in and trying to fight and live your way out of it, if you can try to reduce from the outside or reduce preemptively and then use those center stones to build points later on, then you get into a place where your points can only go up and your opponent's points can only stay the same. And that's a great place to be.